Let me tell you something. You weren't created to break. You weren't put on this earth to be crushed by life. I know it gets hard. I know it feels like the world is sitting on your shoulders. Like every time you take one step forward, life knocks you 5 steps back. But let me remind you of something powerful. Pain is not your prison. Pain is not your enemy. Pain is not your tombstone. It's your tool. It's the fire that forges iron into steel. It's the pressure that turns coal into diamonds. You see, most people run from pain. They hide from it. They let it defeat them. But champions, builders, they face it. They lean into it. They say, if this is what it takes, I'll take it. If this is the road, I'll walk it. Pain is the entrance fee to greatness. You don't break under pressure, you rise. That heartbreak you went through, that wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to break the old version of you, the one that couldn't go where you're headed. That failure, that wasn't your end. That was the start of your learning curve. Pain has a purpose, but only if you choose to build from it instead of breaking under it. You've been through too much to just fall apart now. You've cried too many tears to not let those tears water the seeds of your comeback. Don't let the enemy convince you that the pain is punishment. Sometimes pain is positioning. It's setting you up, not setting you back. It's carving character. It's teaching you how to fight when everything tells you to quit. When a builder walks onto a construction site, he doesn't get frustrated by the dirt, the noise, the mess. He sees the vision. He sees the blueprint. He knows what he's building even when nothing around him looks like it. That's what you have to be. You're a builder. You have to see beyond the rubble of your current situation. You got to see beyond the chaos of your circumstances. You got to stop looking at your life like a graveyard and start looking at it like a construction zone. What you're going through isn't destruction. It's construction. It may be loud, it may be messy, it may be painful, but something is being built in you that's going to outlast every storm. And I get it. You're tired. You're tired of showing up strong, tired of pushing through. But strength isn't built on the days you feel good. It's built when everything hurts and you keep going anyway. That's when character is formed. That's when resolve is forged. Anybody can smile when life is easy. Anybody can shout when the sun is shining. But what about when you're in the dark? What about when nobody's cheering for you? That's when you discover who you really are. That's when the real work begins. That's when builders build. You see, people who break blame the pain. They say, this is why I stopped. This is why I quit. This is why I lost my way. But builders use the pain. They say, oh, this is why I'm stronger. Oh, this is why I kept going. Oh, this is why I don't back down. You have a choice every single day. You can let the pain write your ending, or you can use the pain to build your next chapter. That pain in your chest is proof you're alive. That ache in your heart, it means you still care. The fact that you're still here, still trying, still breathing, that means you haven't broken. That means there's still a builder inside you. Don't let your past define your limits. Don't let the wound stop your work. You've come too far to quit now. You fought through too much to give up now. You're not just surviving, you're constructing something greater. You're not just enduring, you're elevating. Enough. When life tries to break you, that's your cue to build harder, to dig deeper, to anchor your faith in something unshakable. You weren't made to be fragile. You were made to be fierce. You weren't created to collapse. You were crafted to conquer. And the pain, that's just a part of the process. It's not the end. It's the beginning of everything that matters. So I don't care what knocked you down. I care what you're gonna do now. Well, I don't care how long you cried. I care whether you get back up and put in the work. You can't wait for the pain to go away. You gotta get up in the middle of it and keep building. You gotta swing the hammer with tears in your eyes. You gotta lay the bricks even when you're hurting. You gotta stay focused on what you're building, not what you're feeling. Because feelings fade. But what you build, your character, your vision, your legacy, that lasts forever. And when it's all said and done, you'll look back and realize the pain didn't break you, it built you. Pressure is not the enemy. It's the stage. It's the weight that reveals what you're really made of. Most people want the reward, but they don't want the resistance. They want the crown, but not the cross. They pray for greatness, but when pressure shows up, they fold. Pressure isn't here to destroy you. Pressure is here to expose the builder inside you. You see, anybody can dream when the skies are clear, when the wind is at your back, when the people are cheering. But pressure shows up when the lights go out. Pressure shows up when nobody's around. It doesn't just test your ability, it tests your heart. Pressure asks one question: will you break or will you build? Or when the pressure hits, that's when your true identity steps forward. The weak, the ones without vision, the ones who build on sand, they fall. But those who've dug deep, who've planted their feet, who've locked in on their mission, they rise. Because pressure will always do one of two things. It'll either make you quit or it'll make you quicker. It'll either make you collapse or it'll make you create. The ones who build in pressure don't deny the weight. They embrace it. They know it's not comfortable, but they also know comfort never built greatness. Pressure forces you to choose. Do you want what's easy, or do you want what's easy, or do you want what lasts? You can't build anything worthwhile without pressure. The bridge that holds weight, it was tested under pressure. The diamond that shines, it was formed in pressure. The athlete who wins the championship, he trained, bled, and broke through under pressure. So why would your story be any different? You're not here to live a soft life. You're not here to fold at the first sign of difficulty. You're not here to tap out just because things got hard. You were built for this. That pressure, that's proof that your potential is being drawn out. If there was nothing inside you, there'd be no pressure. But because you're carrying purpose, because you're walking with destiny, because you're designed to build something eternal, pressure is part of the process. Let me tell you something. When you feel the most overwhelmed, when everything feels heavy, when life starts pushing you down, that's not the time to panic. That's the time to push back. That's the time to push back. This is step builder mode. Builders don't run from pressure. They use it as fuel. Builders look pressure in the face and say, this is where I get better. This is where I build stronger. This is where I sharpen my edge. Because in the pressure, you discover strength you never knew you had. In the pressure, you find clarity, focus, and drive. In the pressure, all the excuses melt away and all that's left is what really matters. Pressure separates the crowd from the committed. It's easy to talk about goals when there's no challenge. It's easy to shout faith when everything's going right. But pressure strips away the surface. It shows who's just performing and who's been preparing. It shows who's in love with the applause and who's in love with the assignment. And when it shows up, you better be ready to answer. Because life doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care how tired you are. It doesn't care what you expected. It cares whether you can rise. It cares whether you can produce. And pressure will keep showing up until it gets its hand. And here's the truth. Some of the greatest moments of your life will be born out of pressure. You'll look back and realize it wasn't the easy seasons that defined you. It was the nights you wanted to give up but didn't. It was the mornings you woke up with nothing left but still gave everything. It was the battles you fought in silence, the prayers you whispered through tears, the work you did when nobody was watching. Pressure didn't break you, it built you. And every time you faced it, you came out stronger, wiser, more dangerous to the things that once intimidated you. Don't resent the pressure. Respect it, use it, let it build your character. Let it shape your discipline. Let it refine your vision. Stop asking life to get easier and start asking yourself to get tougher. Pressure is an invitation to grow. It's a doorway to another level. You can't get to the next floor without carrying more weight. You can't rise without learning to handle the load. And pressure is the classroom that teaches you that. So the next time pressure shows up, don't shrink, don't complain, don't run. Look it in the eye and declare, this is where I build. Let every moment of weight, every second of resistance, every breath of tension remind you that you are not breaking. You're becoming. You're not falling apart. You're falling into place. Builders aren't born in comfort. They're made in pressure. And if you can learn to thrive under pressure, there's no limit to what you can build. Words have the power to shape lives, build futures, or tear down destiny. What you say in the middle of the battle, what you declare when you're under fire, it matters. Too many people sabotage their own progress, not because of their enemies, but because of their mouths. They speak defeat when they should speak determination. They speak fear when they should speak faith. They speak destruction over their own dreams and then wonder why nothing is standing. Listen to me. If you're gonna build, if you're gonna rise, if you're gonna make it to the place God is calling you to, you can't afford to speak like a victim. You can't afford to speak like someone who's given up. Builders don't talk about tearing down. Builders don't talk about tearing down. Builders don't waste time talking about what they lost. Builders speak life into the bricks they're laying. They speak hope into the future they're shaping. If you want to build, then your mouth has to match your mission. Every word that comes out of your mouth is either building a wall or swinging a wrecking ball. Some of you are doing the work, putting in the time, praying, hustling, but the words you're speaking are canceling your own progress. You keep saying, I can't, I'm tired, I'll never get there, it always goes wrong. And you don't even realize it, but every time those words leave your lips, they become bricks stacked against your own breakthrough. The Bible says life and death are in the power of the tongue. The power of the tongue. That's not just a nice saying, that's a spiritual law. Your words echo in the unseen. They set the tone for what follows. Builders understand this. They guard their language. They don't talk like everyone else. They don't repeat the lies of the world. They speak from a place of vision, not victimhood. They declare what will be even when what is doesn't match yet. You gotta train your tongue to align with your destiny. That means when things get hard, you don't curse the pressure, you bless the process. That means when you fall, you don't speak failure, you speak growth. You say, this is part of the building. This is how I get stronger. This is teaching me what comfort never could. When you're in a season waiting, you don't say, nothing's happening. You say, God is working in the unseen. The foundation's being laid. Because even if the building hasn't gone vertical yet, the digging is still part of the plan. And your words, they're the instructions you're giving your future. Are you speaking construction or destruction? Are you laying words that build up or words that tear down? Builders understand the power of speaking the vision. They speak as if the promise already exists, even when the ground is still bare. They speak with faith, not just facts. Yes, facts may say you're struggling, but faith says it is. Facts may say you're broke, but faith says a provision is coming. Facts may say you're exhausted, but faith says, I'm being strengthened daily. You can't build anything significant with just facts. Facts are what the world sees. Faith is what God sees. And your mouth must carry faith like a tool on your belt. Don't just use your mouth to describe your life. Use it to design it. Stop agreeing with every negative thought. Stop repeating the lies you were told growing up. Speak like you know who you are. Speak like you know who your God is. Speak like a builder, not a breaker. You have to understand, every great move of God in your life will be preceded by a declaration. Go look at scripture. God spoke creation into existence. Jesus spoke healing, life, and restoration. And you were made in the image of that same creative power. So don't just react with your words, create with them. Speak what you want to see, even if you haven't seen it yet. Speak purpose over your pain. Speak peace in the middle of the storm. Speak progress, not pity. And don't just speak over your own life. Speak life over others too. Builders don't just build themselves. They build people. They speak encouragement, vision, strength. They see value where others see brokenness. They lift others with their language. If you want to rise, your language must rise first. You can't build a skyscraper speaking like you're stuck in the basement. Your vocabulary needs to evolve with your vision. Say what you mean and mean what builds. Speak from the place you're going, not just the place you're in. And be consistent, not just when things are going well. Anybody can talk big when the blessings are flowing. But builders speak truth even when they're tired. They speak victory even when they're bleeding. Because they understand that every word is a step in the structure. Every sentence cemented into the atmosphere. So you can't afford to let words slip. That don't support the structure. Before the spotlight comes the sacrifice. Before the recognition comes the routine. Before the success comes the silence, the struggle, the discipline that nobody sees. Too many people want the platform, but not the process. They want the stage, but not the structure. They want the result, but not the foundation. And here's the truth. If you build for fame without first laying the foundation, you'll collapse under the weight of everything you thought you wanted. Real builders don't start with the exterior. They start underground. They go deep. Because what you're standing on will always matter more than what people see. The world may be impressed by the height, but heaven is concerned with the depth. If your roots don't run deep, it doesn't matter how fast you grow, you won't last. And if you're in a season right now where it feels like nothing is visible, where you're digging and seeing no reward, you need to hear this. You're not being overlooked, you're being prepared. Everybody wants to go up, but very few are willing to go deep. And that's the difference between those who build something that lasts and those who fade out when the pressure hits. You can't cheat the process. You can't rush the foundation, because fame without foundation is a setup for failure. The spotlight doesn't change you, it exposes you. If your identity isn't rooted, if your character isn't built, if your heart isn't right, the same platform you prayed for will be the one that breaks you. Builders understand that the most important part of the structure is the part nobody claps for. It's the early morning, the late nights, the quiet obedience, the consistent effort when nobody is looking. That's where the foundation is poured. That's where legacy begins. There's something sacred about the hidden seasons, the times when you're doing the work, showing up, grinding, and nobody's celebrating it. That's where your strength is formed. That's where your motives get purified. That's where you learn to be faithful without needing to be seen. If you can be trusted in the dark, you can be trusted in the light. But if you chase the light before you're ready, it will expose every crack you tried to cover up. That's why God builds you in private before he blesses you in public. He's not trying to delay you. He's trying to root you. He's not punishing you with preparation. He's protecting you with it. Because the higher you want to go, the deeper you have to be anchored. And the deeper the anchor, the stronger the structure. There's a temptation in this generation to chase visibility over value, to chase likes over legacy, to prioritize attention instead of authenticity. But builders don't play to the crowd. Builders know who they are when no one's watching. Builders value obedience over opinion, purpose over popularity, because they understand that building something real takes time. It takes testing. It takes trust. They're not in it for the quick ride. They're in it for the long haul. They're not just trying to impress. They're trying to impress. They're trying to impact. And that kind of impact is born out of integrity, not just talent, not just gifting, but integrity. Doing the right thing when nobody will know, keeping your word, showing up on time, finishing what you started, saying no to what distracts and yes to what develops. There are people who look successful for a moment, but because they didn't have a foundation, they crumbled when life got heavy. They had the applause, but they didn't have the alignment. They had the reach, but they didn't have the roots. But they didn't have the roots. And reach without roots is dangerous. It's unstable. It looks good on the surface, but it can't handle the weight of pressure, criticism, betrayal, or even success. That's why you have to focus more on who you're becoming than what you're building. Because if you become the right person, you'll build the right thing. But if you skip the foundation and go straight to the frame, don't be surprised when it all falls apart. God is more concerned with your character than your clout. More concerned with your faithfulness than your fame. He'll let you dig for a while before he lets you rise. So if you're in a season where nobody sees you, keep building. If you're putting in the work and it seems like nothing's happening, don't stop. That's not failure. It's formation. You're being rooted. You're being strengthened. The deeper you go now, the higher you can go later. Don't despise the days of small beginning. Don't despise the silent year. Don't despise the times you're hidden. That's where the real work is being done. That's where greatness is forged. Because the foundation comes before the fame. And if you build it right, if you dig deep, if you stay faithful, when the time comes to rise, you won't be shaken. You won't be moved. Because you didn't just build a platform. You build a life that can hold what's coming. And that right there is what lasts. You can't build anything lasting in life if you haven't first built yourself. The dream is real. The vision is powerful. But the version of you that will fulfill has to be constructed first. Too many people are trying to launch businesses, chase influence, start ministries, build empires, but they're still living with a broken internal structure. They're trying to build skyscrapers on shaky ground. And then when it all falls apart, they blame the circumstances, they blame the environment, they blame the people around them. But the truth is, if the builder isn't right, nothing the builder touches will be right either. The foundation of any dream is the person carrying. If your character, your discipline, your mindset, and your identity aren't solid, your dream won't stand under pressure. You must build yourself before you build the dream. When you try to skip the internal work and go straight to the external success, it might look good for a season, but eventually cracks will show. You can't run from yourself. You can't fake strength forever. Eventually, the pressure will test what you built, and if you haven't laid the right foundation inside, it will crumble. Not because the dream wasn't real, but because the builder wasn't ready. This is why every setback, every delay, every trial you face on the way to your goals isn't just an obstacle. It's an opportunity to develop. Every hard lesson is laying a brick. Every difficult decision is strengthening your resolve. Every moment of pain is carving out endurance in you. You're not just being tested, you're being trained. Life doesn't give you what you want. It gives you what you're prepared to handle. So if you want to carry something big, you got to become someone big on the inside first. It's not about how flashy your dream is, how many followers you have, or how loud your plans sound. It's about how deep your roots go when no one is looking. That's why the season of building yourself is sacred. It's not punishment, it's preparation. It's not delay, it's development. You've got to look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I the kind of person that can carry this dream? Not just when everything's going well, but when nothing is going right. Not just when I feel inspired, but when I feel invisible. Can I be consistent when nobody's clapping? Can I be disciplined when it's not convenient? Can I be faithful when it feels like it's all falling apart? Because if you can't lead yourself, you're not ready to lead anything else. And if you can't build yourself, you're not ready to build what's in your heart. We live in a world that celebrates image, but image without integrity is empty. It's a house with no structure. It might shine for a moment, but when the winds blow and the storms hit, and it will collapse. That's why you got to do the deep work. You got to face your fears, confront your insecurities, discipline your emotions, and build your habits. You've got to learn to manage your time, your energy, your relationships, your money, your thoughts. All of that is part of building yourself. You don't wake up strong. You don't stumble into purpose. You shape it brick by brick through intention, humility, and sacrifice. You don't rise by accident. You rise on purpose. There's no shortcut to internal transformation. You've got to take ownership of your journey. You've got to stop blaming your past, stop waiting for someone to rescue you, and start doing the hard work of becoming the person you're supposed to be. Every day you wake up is another chance to lay another brick. Read the books, show up early, stay late, say no to distraction, say yes to growth. Apologize when you're wrong, forgive when it's hard, stay grounded when you're praised, stay focused when you're overlooked. All of that is part of your construction, and if you skip that, you're skipping the very thing that will sustain you when you finally reach the dream. Don't idolize the destination so much that you neglect the development. You want to be the kind of person who doesn't just arrive. You want to be the kind of person who remains. Because success without stability is dangerous. It will elevate you and then expose you. So before you chase the dream, become the vision, become the kind of person who embodies what you're trying to build. Be the discipline, be the focus, be the courage, be the resilience. When you focus on becoming, the building takes care of itself. You won't have to force it. You won't have to fake it. You'll be it. So when you feel like you're not getting anywhere, when it feels like nothing's moving, remember this, you're being shaped, stretched, and strengthened. You're being built. And one day, when the time is right, when the dream finally rises from the ground, it'll be strong. Not just because the idea was good, but because the builder was ready.